My next challenger is Mr. Williams from Boston. Mr. Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Judge. Thank you to the Norwood Senior Center. Thank you to the League of Women Voters for organizing this event. My name is Brad Williams. I am a Republican candidate for State Senate this fall. I am running because our state is facing a financial tsunami of problems in the next few years. And our legislature for the last 2 or 3 years has been kicking the can down the road, passing budgets that mask our problems, and we need to put an end to that. I'm a financial person. I operate a small investment firm. Most of my clients are nearing retirement or in retirement. I had a call this morning from a 76-year-old woman who had just done a reverse mortgage to stay in her house. Times are tough out there. People need relief. And I think I have a plan to deliver it. A little about me very quickly. I've lived my entire adult life in this district. I moved here the summer after college. I lived in Norwood for 3 years. I bought a house in West Roxbury where I live today. I went to Middlebury College. I have an MBA from Northeastern, and today I operate an investment firm in downtown Boston. I've been running since December 4th, 2009, because I've seen these problems that I talked about for a very long time. And I tell people there are 3 things we need to do. We need to fix our budget in government. Our state government is far too big. The budget is far too big. It's one we can no longer afford, and it's one that people no longer want to subsidize. That large government impacts our job situation in Massachusetts. We're seeing the young people leave for other states. We're seeing New Hampshire with a 6% unemployment rate while we're at 9%. We can do better than this. We can do a lot better. Our employers tell us what they need: unemployment insurance relief, health insurance relief, lower taxes. We know the answers. The legislatures know the answers, but they don't do it year after year after year. And finally, I am a Republican. I'm not running because of that. I'm running because I think my ideas are the best ideas. But I do agree, we need balance up there. We need 2 parties fighting over these issues and compromising. Thank you, and I ask for your vote November 2nd and September 14th. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. Dorothy, question?
The first question we have is directed to both Mr. Williams and Mr. Walsh. How can we reduce the costs of health care in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts? And how can we assure that our seniors have access to inexpensive prescription drugs? Mr. Williams?
Apparently I'm taking this one first. I think this is good. Well, I want to go back to what I said about the size of our state government and what we spend. Because our state government is so wasteful, things like Prescription Advantage, which is a program for prescription drugs, it keeps getting cut each year in the budget. I think it was $12 million in 2009. Now we spend $30 billion as a state in the state budget, and yet we're cutting items for $12 million that really, really impact people, and probably many of us in this room. So we need to fix the budget. We need to stop the wasteful spending. That's just one example. I would want to refund that program. And as many of you know, we have what they call a donut hole in federal health care coverage versus the state coverage, and we need to fix that and fund that as well. For our businesses, the small businesses in Massachusetts are screaming for help on health care insurance. My firm is 3 investment professionals. We have no admin, partly because it's very expensive to hire admin in the state because of health insurance. We might be able to make what they call mandate-light policies available to small employers. That would go a long way. I've talked to some restaurant owners that say 10 years ago, all of my employees had health insurance. And now today, none of them do because I can't afford it. I'd rather pay the fine. So there's a long ways to go. The health care bill we passed in 2006, sometimes called Romney Care, had two parts to it. The first was to insure everybody. We've done a pretty good job of that. The second part was to cut costs, and we never, ever implemented that part of it. And unfortunately, that's the work we need to do and the work I will fight for if you send me to Beacon Hill. Thank you.
This is your final question. What is your position regarding taxpayer-funded benefits for the children of immigrants who have come to Massachusetts illegally?
Let me tell you a little story from the campaign trail. I met a resident who said, gee, my grandparents came from Italy, and when they wanted to come to the U.S., the quota for Italy that year was full. And so they moved to Argentina for 5 years. That's how badly they wanted to come to the U.S. And once they've been in Argentina for 5 years, they could come under the Argentina quota at the turn of the 20th century. So people are willing to sacrifice, and they're willing to fight to be here. And I think, like Jim Stanton, he worked as an immigration attorney. I spent 3 summers interning with immigration at the northern border. And our immigration policy is basically a joke. It's catch and release. That's what I do when I fish. We catch, we release, we say show up in court and say, tell us why we shouldn't deport you. So, and I think I disagree with Mr. Walsh on one point. He says this is unpopular. Every poll I see says not only does Massachusetts want it, but everybody wants our immigration laws enforced over and over again. This argument about in-state tuition for illegals seems somewhat absurd to me. Why would we subsidize somebody's education if they can't work legally here when they're done? I mean, it's nonsensical. So, you know, I am against funding in-state tuition levels for legal immigrants. And this is an issue that I can't emphasize enough that people are just very worked up about. Governor Romney, in his last few months in office, had, after many months negotiating with the Department of Justice, had put in a program where our state police could report suspected illegal immigrants to the state police. That is one of the first things Governor Patrick reversed when he came into office. So I would be in favor of that as well. That essentially we can't afford these people anymore because all of us are hurting financially. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. And now, well, it's Mr. Rush around. He showed up. I'm not seeing him. The candidates for the Senate, this session is closed. We'll take a 5-minute break and change to district attorney. Now, the candidates will remain in the back, socializing.